Good morning students, I welcome you all for the online class of economics. Today we will be going to learn and continue the topic law of variable proportion. In this law of variable proportion topic students, we will be going through the topic that is the postponement of the law. Before starting this topic, postponement of the law, let us recall the topic earlier what we have learnt in the yesterday's class. We were learning about the law of variable proportion. In that it was explained there, technology does not change assumptions of the law. The law of variable proportion is based on certain assumption, and this assumption states that ratio in which proportion factors of production are combined can be changed according to the variable factor. Units of the variable factor are homogeneous, like items, or equally efficient and increase one by one. Thus, the law of diminishing returns set in not because later units of the variable factor are less efficient than the former ones. It seems it because the either factor ratio is disturbed or because the availability of the fixed factor like machine reduces per unit of the variable factor. State of technology does not change. So that is known as student assumption of the law. Causes of diminishing return to a factor we have learned, but again I want to recall you causes of increasing return as well as decreasing return students, and then we will proceed with some of the practical questions. When we learn causes of increasing return, we have already learned in the last class. Increasing return to a factor can be achieved when we are making fuller utilization of the fixed factor till the time variable factor can be increased so that we can make the total production capacity to come to 100%. Division of labor and increase in efficiency, if we do so, definitely we will be able to reach to the increasing returns to a factor. Additional application of the variable factor, labor enables process based division of labor. Specialized workers may be used for different process of production. Better coordination between the factors so long as fixed factor remains underutilized. Additional application of the variable factor tends to improve the degree of coordination between the fixed and the variable factors. As a result, marginal product MP increases and total product TP increases at an increasing rate. Do you agree with the view that TP increases even when MP is decreasing? The answer is yes, TP increases even when MP is decreasing, because MP is an addition to TP. When MP is decreasing, only an addition to TP is decreasing, not the TP as such. TP continues to increase, though at a diminishing rate. TP start declining only when MP is negative. Can total product ever fall when more and more of it, the variable factor is combined with the fixed factor? Answer is yes, total product will fall even MP of the variable factor becomes negative. It is a situation of excessive employment of the variable factor or a situation of disgust and employment of the variable factor like labor. Causes of diminishing returns to a factor. When we talk student, diminishing returns to a factor or the law of variable diminishing returns may be explained with terms of the following factors. Fixity of the factor is very important students. Fixity of the factor implies it is the principal cause behind the cause of diminishing return. As more and more units of the variable factor, especially labors, are combined with the fixed factor that is land, definitely we will come to an excessively utilized situation. It suffers greater wear and tear and loses its efficiency. If machinery 10 people have to work but 12 people work, definitely what will happen? Machinery will get disturbed if exceed the capacity is utilized for using that machinery, and it will in the form of wear and tear of machinery. Imperfect factor substitutability. X factors of production are imperfect substitutes of each other. More and more of labor cannot be continuous used in place of capital. Accordingly, diminishing returns are bound to set when only the variable factor is increased to increase output. Poor coordination between the factors. Increasing application of the variable factor along with the fixed factor eventually disturb the either factor ratio. This results in poor coordination between the fixed and the variable factor. Here it is the diminishing returns. Now comes assumption. We already studied students, so no, it is not needed. The law of variable proportion is based on certain assumption. We have already discussed in the beginning of the video. Now we will be proceeding with some of the questions here. Before that, we will be going to learn two questions. A situation of constant returns to a factor. Constant means same ideal total productivity will come. When it will come? Between the situation of increasing return to a factor and diminishing return to a factor, a firm may have a situation of constant returns to a factor also. It is a situation where MP of the variable factor tends to remain constant even when more and more of the variable factor is combined with the fixed factors. When MP is constant, say 10 for every level, TP will increase only at a constant rate. Every time it will increase by 10 units of output. That is also a factor. When MP is constant, what will be the TP? TP will also come as constant ratio, because when MP tends to increase or decrease in a constant ratio, it will result in the TP same constant ratio. TP will not be equal to MP, but it will also maintain the same constant ratio of 10 units. Postponement of the law, as we already discussed. Postponement of the law of variable proportion states that situation of diminishing marginal productivity is possible under two situations. Very first, when there is improvement in the technology used in the process of production, so that greater output is achieved when the same inputs. When some substitutes of the fixed factor is discovered, so that the constant of fixity of the factor is removed. However, such a situation is very rare, if not possible. So that situation, postponement of the law can be seen. It means law will be, we can see some of the situation where the law is not applying. That situations are there when we increase the technology of the production. Definitely when technology will change, production capacity automatically changes. Second is that when the factors of productions like fixed factor of production, that we will get some more substitute for that, definitely our production capacity will also increase. So these are the postponement of the law, should not be interpreted to mean that law can be avoided. Ultimately the law must set in when factor the ratio does not remain optimum. Relationship between TP and MP and AP and MP. Relation between total product and marginal product and average product are related to each other. Units of land, hectares, fixed factor, units of variable factor, L, number of workers employed. You can see this question, student, for today's class. This what you are seeing there, fixed factor is land, units of land is fixed factor, 1 and every factor 1. Units of variable factor, workers has been increasing 1 unit, has law variable states that 1 more unit will be increasing in the variable factors. It is just a theory. Now marginal productivity is given there, 0, 6, 14, 28, 24, 8, 4, 0. We know total productivity equals to sum of MP. So first MP is 0, so here it will be 0, 0 plus 6, it will be 6, 6 plus 14, 20, 20 plus 28, 48. So I think it is clear how we are getting this total product, sum of MP. Average product equals to total product upon labor. I had explained to you in the class. If you applied this factor, you will get this AP. Now what the theory says does. In this particular data, make a screenshot first of all, so that you can write in the copy the particular details related to this. We are seeing there constant law variable state that at a certain increase in the variable factor, output will also increase. But at a certain level, output will be constant, where MP tends to 0. MP is coming 0, the factors of output will be, TP will be constant. And certain level when MP will negative, the TP will start declining, which was increasing constantly, it will start declining constantly. And average productivity, it will also show the same result. So what we are seeing, students, there, some of the situation it is increasing return, some of the situation it is diminishing return. Observation relationship between TP and MP, when we see table 2 and figure number 2 offer following observation on the relation between TP and MP. So long as MP is increasing, TP is increasing at increasing rate. Table 2 and figure 3 shows that till the third unit of the variable factor, MP is increasing from 6 to 14 or to 28 tons of rice. Accordingly, while the first unit of labor contributes 6 tons of rice to total output, you can see their second unit of labor, when it is employed, it increases the productivity from 6 to 20 units. Have you understood? 40 units it has been increased, and it has total product came 20. So and the third employed, when it is employed, he had contributed 28 units tons more to be produced. So this way what we are seeing, when the variable factor labor is increasing, the total productivity is increasing, but it will increase only to the fixed factor limitation. After crossing fixed factor limitation, it will start declining. So that only the theory is there. When MP equals to 0, there is no addition of 2 TP. It happens when 7 unit of labor is used corresponding to 0. TP is maximum at that point. When MP is negative, TP start declining. It happens when 8 unit of labor is employed. TP diminishes from 84 to 80 and MP is 80 minus 84, that is minus 4. Increasing MP implies TP is increasing at increasing rate. Diminishing MP implies that TP is increasing at diminishing rate. 0 MP implies that TP stopped increasing. Negative MP implies reduction in total product. Observation says that relation between AP and MP is that AP increases so long as MP greater than AP. It happens in figure number 2 till point number D, where AP is at its top. AP decreases when MP is less than AP. It happens in figure number 2 beyond point number D, where AP is at its top. You can see in this tabular data only, you can calculate, no need of the graph. You can observe it where the MP is declining, where the AP is increasing, where it is decreasing. Relationship between AP and MP can be found out. So AP increases when MP is greater than AP, and AP decreases when marginal productivity is less than average productivity. AP is at its maximum when AP equals to MP. That situation, that line itself, when AP answer is same as it is MP answer, that line you can say AP is highest. MP may be 0 or negative, but AP cannot be negative. It will be always positive. Why MP curve cuts AP curve from its top? This is because when AP rises, MP greater than AP. When AP falls, MP less than AP. When MP less than AP. Accordingly, it is only when AP is constant at its top that AP equals to MP, implying that MP cuts AP curve from its top. AP may continue to rise even when MP start declining. Why? This happens so long as declining MP is greater than the existing AP. Example in table number 2, MP declines from 28 to 24 units, and when 4th unit of labor is employed, yet the corresponding AP increases from 16 to 18, simply because even MP declines to 24, it still is greater than the existing average product, which is 16. Do you agree that TP must decrease in a situation of diminishing return? Yes, it should. No, TP should not be decreasing in any situation of diminishing return. It is a situation of diminishing returns. MP decreases like from 10 to 9, 10 to 8, like that. MP will be only decreasing, not the TP. It means less and less units of output are added to TP. Nevertheless, TP must be rising. TP decreases only in situation of negative returns. Okay, so it decreases, but only when there is a situation of negative returns. We must try not to come negative returns. Should both TP and MP be declining in a situation of diminishing return? No. In a situation of diminishing return, only MP should be declining, and when MP is decreasing, TP should be increasing, though at a diminishing rate. Complete the following table, students. Units of labor. As I said in today's class, I will be taking some of the questions. These type of tables are there at the back of the chapter. As the chapter gets over, I will be asking you to solve the questions, theory as well as these type of questions. Units of labor, average product, margin product, we have to calculate. We know there is a relationship TP equals to average product upon MP. Formula equals to here I am taking a small place. First of all, units of labor, and you know total product equals to sum of MP. And one more formula is there if you want to know. This formula I will not use. Instead of that, I will be using MP equals to TPN minus TPN minus 1. Okay, this formula I will take. So TP is needed to be calculated when MP is to be find out. From AP we cannot take out the MP. So how we will take? TP we will calculate. Here we know AP equals to TP upon L. So if TP is not there, the formula can be changed. TP equals to AP into L. Okay, have you understood? Make a writing in your copy. Hence AP, since AP equals to TP upon L, so TP equals to AP into L. In this form we can get the total product. How we can get it? Here one column will be there, TP. 4 into 1, 4. 5 into 10, 10. 5 into 3, 15. 4 into 4, 16. 5 into 3, 15. Okay, MP. TPN minus, here it will be, first one will be 4. 10 minus 4, 6. 50 minus 10, 5. 60 minus 51. 50 minus 60, minus 1. So see, here the calculation is done. Complete the following table on the assumption that for each additional unit of the variable factor, marginal product decreases by 5 units of output. Units of labor, TP, AP and MP. What has been shown that I will be telling you, it is said that here it can be made. TP is not known. Units of labor must be on the assumption that for each additional unit of the variable factor, law of variable say 1 unit we have to increase. 0, 1, 2, 3 you can write, or 1, 2, 3, 4. Labor will be increasing by 1 unit. Whenever 1 unit of variable factor increases, marginal product decreases by 5 units. So if the marginal product takes minus 5 is already given. Minus 5 plus 5, 0. 0 plus 5, 5. 5 plus 5, 10. So this way I got this. If MP is known, TP can be found out. Yes, it can be found out. How we can take out the TP? TP equals to sum of MP. So it will be 10, 15. Then here it is 15. Here also 15. 15 plus 0, 15. 15 minus 5. It will be 10. How much? 10. So TP I found, AP equals to TP upon L. Do it, you can get it. Have you understood how I explained how 1, 2, 3, 4 I had taken? I had taken 1, 2, 3, 4 because it has been said variable factor will be increasing by 1 unit. In our law of variable proportion it has been said. And it has been said marginal product decreases by 5. Here it is given minus 5. Minus 5 plus 5, it will be 0. Okay. Here it will be 0 plus 5, 5. And 10 plus 5 plus 5, 10. We can do by writing 10 only. 10 minus 5 minus 5, 5 minus 5, 0, 0 minus 5 minus 5. That way we can take AP equals to TP upon L. So this way students, you have to calculate the particular questions which is given at the back of the chapter. Any doubt due to any of the question you can ask to me through the WhatsApp. If you are online and the offline mode, you can come to the class and can attend the classes to get the calculations of this type of questions in the class. Thank you for today's class. Have a nice day.